This is the culmination of well over 3 years of talks, but signing the CFTA deal on the 21st of March was, strictly speaking, the easy part. 44 countries were signatories, but 2 countries, these 2 that make up about half of the continent's GDP, were not. Nigeria didn't sign the CFTA or the Kigali Declaration, which is a statement of intent to do so. South Africa, on the other hand, did sign the Kigali Declaration, but not the actual treaty to set up the free trade area. So effectively, that leaves us with economies of about combined GDP of about 1.4 trillion US dollars, which signed the deal, except all the ones on your screen right now. That's close to 60% of the continent's total output, according to Renaissance Capital's chief economist Charles Robertson. Now, other than Nigeria, nearly half of those who didn't sign the CFTA are clustered down here in the Southern African development community. Now, boosting trade volumes in both goods and services within the continent is a big idea here. But to do that, CFTA signatories must eliminate the average of about 6% tariffs that they levy on imports from each other, and that should cover about 90% or so of goods consumed on the continent. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa reckons that if that happens, if you just remove the import duties alone, trade volume should go up by over 50%. And it will even double if non-tariff barriers are removed. But remember, non-tariff barriers can be very, very difficult to get rid of. For instance, Kenya has been shielding her deeply inefficient, loss-making state-owned sugar producers and the sector as a whole for decades within COMESA, the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. The latest protection window is ending in 2019. The same country has also banned any genetically modified produce from its shores, with some pretty odd consequences. The last time, for example, that Kenya was in desperate need of maize, that was late 2016, early 2017, it had to import maize from Mexico, 15,000 kilometers away, not South Africa, which at the time had harvested 17 million tons of maize and usually exports about 600,000 metric tons of the grain each year into the region. So clearly, this isn't just about eliminating tariffs, although of course that will be a good start. For this deal to come into the force, at least half of the 44 signatories need to ratify it in the next 180 days, effectively by July. And that, if history is anything to go by, is usually the deal breaker. Remember this lot, for example, the 1999 Yamoussoukro decision to liberalize air transport markets across Africa? Dead. The 2001 Abuja Declaration to spend 15% of annual budget on healthcare? Also dead. The 2003 Maputo Declaration to spend 10% of budgets on agriculture? Also dead. So after the glitz and the glamour and the feel-good energy from the Kigali summit, will countries actually deliver on the CFTA, or is this just another dead deal to add to that list?